Welcome back to JavaScript programming series. In this video, let us discuss about the differences between where and let keyword. There are three main differences. First one is the scope. So if we define a variable using the where keyword, it is function scoped. Okay. So let us see what is a function scoped. Variables declared with where are scoped to the nearest enclosing function. So wherever you create a variable inside a function, that is available entire function scope. Okay, that is available in entire function scope. So here you can see the variable defined inside if block, but we are using outside the if block. That is possible with where keyword because variables declared with where keyword are accessible in the entire function block. So let us copy this and let us run this in our JavaScript programming. So let me paste it and now, so let me run that. So we can see the value 10 printed. So here we are creating a variable and assigning value 10, and outside that if we are printing that. So that's where the variable declared with where keyword is accessible inside the entire function block. So let us try to access this outside the function block. Okay, let us see what happens. So if we try to access it outside the function block. I have saved it. Let me run it again. I'm running it. You can see there is an error. Okay, error is x is not defined. So if we define a variable with the where keyword, that you can access entire inside the function only. Okay, if we try to access that outside, we cannot access. Okay, so if you create that outside the function, now this variable is available as a global variable so that we can access it anywhere. Okay, let me run that. You can see, so inside the function and outside the function. Okay, so because it is a global variable, now we have defined outside, so it is available in the entire program. Now let us look at the let keyword. Okay, so in the first difference scope, we have seen the where keyword. Let us see the let keyword. So let is a block scoped. So in previous example, we have seen where is a function level scoped, but let is a block level scope. If you define a variable inside if block, that is accessible only inside that particular block only. Okay, so we cannot access outside that particular block. Okay, so let me copy this code and replace. Okay, let me run this code. So here we are accessing it outside the block. Let me run it. So now also you can see there is error, y is not defined. Okay, so if we define this outside this one if condition, okay, now it will be accessible. Okay, now we can see the variable y is accessible because that's not inside this block, that is inside this particular block. Okay, so this is the scope difference between the where and let. Next difference is the hoisting. So when it comes to the hoisting, if we create a variable using where keyword, so it will be available in the entire scope. So you can see variables declared with where are hoisted to the top of their function or global scope during the compilation. So they are initialized with undefined. Okay, so you are writing a console.log line here and you have defined a variable here. So still, so you are defining here, but this particular variable is hoisted. That means this is available from the line number 1. So let us run it now. Okay, so the output here is the undefined. So here you can see we got the undefined output. So we have defined this variable in the second line, but this variable is available from the first line of your program. So that's called hoisting. Let me add a few more lines of coding. Function f console.log. Now I'll call f. So here you can see, so there are 5 lines of code in the above, and I am defining the variable a in the 6th line. In this case, this variable a is available from the line number 1. So that's where we are able to access this variable a. Okay, so let me run this. So you can see, so undefined printed. So here undefined printed. Then inside this function call, so hoisting printed, and variable is defined here. So if we log after defining it, so what is the value we will get? We will get output as the 5. So here you can see undefined, hoisting, and number 5. Okay, so this is how it will work with var keyword. Okay, so then let's discuss about the keyword let. Here you can see variables declared with let keyword are also hoisted, but until unless that variable is declared, we cannot access them. So we can see the reference error. Okay, so attempting to access a let variable before its declaration will result in a reference error. Okay, let us see this one. Let's put the let keyword. Okay, so it is let now. Let me execute the program. You can see the reference error. Cannot access a before initialization. Okay, so here you can see let is defined and initialized here in line number 6. We are trying to access it in line number 1. That's not possible here. Okay, so that's where we can use the let keyword to resolve this issue. So the next difference is redeclaration. Okay, so var. So you can redeclare a var variable within the same scope without causing an error. So the later declaration will simply override the previous one. Okay, so here you can see. So here I'm defining variable c and assigning value 1. Here I'm again defining variable with same name. So that's not correct actually, but JavaScript won't gives you error if you define with var keyword. Okay, you can see the output came as a 2. Okay, so let's do that with the let keyword. So let me put let keyword. Okay, you can see variable c is defined with let keyword in line number 1, and in line number 2 you can see there is an error. Okay, in line number 2 there is an error. So let us see what is that error. Run it, and you can see identifier c has already been declared. Okay, so that's the error we will get. So if you try to declare a variable with same name, okay, but we can define with other variable name called d. Okay, so now the error is gone. Now this will work. You can see it is printing the value 1. Okay, so these are the 3 main differences between the let and var keyword. You can see the first difference here is the scope of the variable. Next one is the hoisting. Next one is the redeclaration. These are the 3 differences between var and let keyword.